Welcome to day 3 on app development with Swift for iOS mobile devices for associate level. In today's session, we'll start our discussion on prototyping iOS applications using Adobe XD, and we will perform version control with GitHub. So these will be the two important concepts which we will be managing today. So initially, in order to get started with a project, once you are done with planning of the project using Handsoft, we have to build a version control system using GitHub, and then whatever new files, applications, code, whatever we build, we try to keep all that content within that directory so as to sync with GitHub. The benefit of version control with GitHub is multiple developers in a company or in a team will be able to contribute to the same project, which means, let's say if you are building a big application, every application has multiple modules on it. Every module can be built with an individual developer, and then it can be collaborated, and the version of the application will be controlled using GitHub, and then it can be synced to the main branch, followed by maintenance of the application, so that we can keep on updating the application with new features, and it will be easy for users to access it. Okay, so GitHub is something like a version control system. A lot of people are already aware about what GitHub is. Followed by, once we are done with management of GitHub, we'll get into prototyping with Adobe XD. So in order to get started with GitHub, you have to have an account on GitHub. So Pratik, you have to log into github.com. Once you have logged into github.com, there will be two things. On server side, we have github.com, where we will have all the code repositories. And before we get into it, I would also like you to walk through with an image. So allow me a minute. So let me just quickly walk you through with the image initially. So what exactly happens? Suppose in the version control system, I'll give you a quick walkthrough of what version control system is and team collaboration on the project. Okay, suppose there is a central repository. The central repository is GitHub. Okay, this is github.com. Now, on this github.com, you're going to have a central repository, which you can call as a main branch. And there could be some individual branches of the people where they want to test their code. Okay. Now, what exactly happens? Suppose we have multiple developers in a team working on a common project, and they might be available on different locations, and they might be working on different modules in a large project. So what do we have to do is, and on every machine, there is GitHub desktop installed. Consider GitHub desktop is installed in each of their machines. Okay. Now with GitHub desktop, what is possible? Every user or every developer will be able to write its own piece of code. Okay. They will be able to write their own piece of code as per the requirement on their respective machines. Okay. And what they can do is they can sync that code into the common repository. Okay. So suppose this is my developer one. He has made some changes in the project. He's going to push it to github.com using the GitHub desktop. It might be a possibility that the developer two might need the previous code in order to start contributing on it. And whatever new add-ons he's doing, he will be pushing the updated code on github.com again. Okay. Similarly, all the other developers will be able to write their own piece of code on their machine, make a local repository using GitHub desktop on their local machine, and then they will sync the final code for collaboration on github.com. Is that clear?
Yes.
This is very, very important when it comes to building large projects and multiple team members are working on your project. Followed by, in case if you're working on open source, suppose you are building an exploit or anything like that, and if you want multiple hackers to contribute, so you can also keep it open source public so that other developers can also contribute to your project or can use your project in order to build their own tweak. Is that clear?
Yes.
Now, let us get into the second part of it. So I believe this is clear, the
Yes.
concept, what we will be doing. So now on github.com, we will be creating a central repository, and let us call this repository as, I think we have started building a wallet application. The objective is to build, the app design objective includes building an application somewhat like this, a perfect banking partner application. And this will be something like a wallet where we will be maintaining some money and we will be transferring money to the users. So this is a simple application which we are going to build. Okay. So let us just call it as iOS wallet app. So I'm creating a repository with the name iOS wallet app. I'm going to call it as wallet simple wallet application for iOS using Swift. So this is what we are going to build. This repository is going to be public repository. Anyone on the internet will be able to see this repository, and you can choose who can commit, which means you can add collaborators to the project and you can choose who can commit to the project. Similarly, you can keep the repository as private also. In private, the benefit is only your internal team members will be able to access the project codes. Is that clear?
Yes.
So currently we'll keep it public so that our students will be able to access the code which we are building, and we'll keep it accessible on our Trello. Also, there are some features to initialize the repository with, which means you can add a long description for the project in the README file. So I'm going to add a README file. You can also choose a license where the license tell others what they can and cannot do with your code. Okay. So there are certain licenses available. So you can make your licenses reusable and give you credit, all that. Majority of the licenses are made with GNU General Public License or the MIT license. You can read about the license terms and conditions once you add that license, and accordingly you can select license for your open source codes. Okay. So consider I will be starting with the MIT license, and then I'm going to quickly create a repo. So once we create a repo, you can see that we have got an iOS wallet app ready on the server side. Is that clear?
Yes.
Now what next I'm going to do? I've got an iOS wallet app set up. Similarly, the second thing which I'm going to get is I'm going to download GitHub desktop for my local machine. Okay, because now I want to write code at my local machine, put it into a directory, and from that directory it should be synced with iOS wallet app. Okay, so we go here and we'll go to GitHub desktop download. So once you go to the website GitHub desktop download, there is this website desktop.github.com. You can easily download it. Let me just add the URL here. Set up GitHub desktop from the website here, desktop.github.com. Okay. So you can download it for Mac. It is available for Windows. It is available for other versions also. So you can download it for Mac. And in my machine, I already have the GitHub desktop setup. So the setup is very simple. You can get started with yes, 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 next, 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 install. And you're going to get a page something like this. Okay. Now, what we have to do, initially get a page something like this, where we can clone a repository. Okay. So on github.com, we have created a repository with the name iOS wallet app. Okay. There are various ways with which you can download the content from here or connect it with your local directory for syncing the project codes. So what I'll do is I'm going to clone a new repository. Okay. So I'll click on clone repository. In the clone repository on the website github.com, I will be searching iOS wallet app. Okay, I think this is iOS wallet. Okay, so I'll just refresh it once. I'll refresh my repositories so that I get the new repositories loaded. And here I'm going to get iOS wallet app. This is what I'm going to create. So now a directory will be created in my machine under downloads with the name iOS wallet app. So all the files and source codes required to build iOS wallet app, I will be maintaining within this directory. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes.
Now we'll quickly click on clone the repo. Okay. So once we clone the repo, you will quickly get iOS wallet app directory. In the history, you can see there is a license file already available there, and you do have the MIT license available. There's a README file which defines simple wallet application for iOS using Swift, which you can already see here. Okay, you do have the license, and you can read about the license, what all is included within that license, and you can read other licenses also, and you can see which fit your requirement. Okay, similarly, so I'm here in the iOS wallet app, and now whatever new prototypes and the codes which we will be building, we will be keeping it in this central repository. Okay, so the new changes which will happen in this directory now will be available over here, and we will be able to commit all those changes, and we can maintain all the version control of the application right from the prototype level in the central GitHub desktop repository or in the central github.com repository. Is that clear?
Yes.
Now let us get into the second stuff. So now we're going to start the prototyping of the application. Okay. Prototyping of the application is very simple. So we will get started with Adobe XD. You can download Adobe XD. It is available from cloud.adobe.com. Since we are making iOS application, so I want my iOS applications to run on iPhone devices. So there are some iPhone templates available, the size of the screen, so that you can design your applications accordingly. You can design for one device also, or you can design your mobile apps for multiple designs also. So depending on the phone, automatically it will be selected. We will get started with one phone. So suppose I have iPhone 11 Pro with me. So I will be testing my applications on my mobile phone as well as on the emulator. So I will be using this option to get started. So once I get started, Adobe XD starts here. In the Adobe XD, we have got the layout here. We call it as an artboard. An artboard is something where you draw how you want your application to look like, followed by what are we going to do? We are going to build the similar application. Okay. So let us just get started with it. So what am I going to do? The objectives includes the following. I'll go here and I'm going to copy this image. This is the image which I'm going to use. I'm going to copy that image. This is going to be the design requirements. So consider we're going to build an application which looks something like this. Okay. And I'm going to resize it appropriately up to my phone size so that I'll be able to plan the size, features, and everything accordingly. So now what do we have is, we have 3 pages here. We have a introduction page, your perfect banking partner. Then we have the second page where we have the transactions information. And third, we have send and receive money option. Okay. I believe, Pratik, this is clear. So we are going to have 3 pages for this. One for the landing page. So I'm going to call it as landing. Okay. Followed by landing, then we'll have the transactions page and the send money page. So let us just get started with this. So what do we need? Initially, in the first application, you can see that it shows you an image, a content, your perfect banking partner, and the start now feature. Okay. In case if you want to see the appropriate font, there are websites like what the font uh, is available, or you can select your own font for designing your applications. Okay. So what I will do, I will get started with selection of an image. If you want to use the similar images, you can use that in Photoshop, cut the images appropriately and use that stuff. That is also possible. And otherwise, what you can do is you can select your own images also for building the application. So in this case, how would you like to proceed? Would you like to go with the same design, or would you like to go with some similar design and we can select different pictures with the same text content?
We will go with the same.
We'll go with the same, right? Okay. So in order to do this, there will be multiple tools we would be needing in order to get things done. So first of all, what I want is, I would like to use the similar images. Okay. In order to use the similar images, I'll do one thing. So the first thing is, I'm going to take a screenshot of this content. I will be using free tools available on the internet to get the content cropped as per my requirement. So this is going to be the image which I'm going to use in my project. Okay. It's an image along with the white background. So what I'll do is I'll quickly crop it. Okay. I've cropped the content. Done. I'm going to maintain all of these images here on the board also, followed by, there is a website, background, remove remove.bg. Okay. So what you can do is, I just need to quickly see if I have got the screenshot. Yes, this is a screenshot of the image which I want to use. So I'm going to choose it and I'm going to remove the background. We can also use Photoshop, but Photoshop, since it's a paid tool, it is not available with everyone. So what you all can do, you can make use of images remover website, which is remove.bg. So I'm going to download the version of the image, and this is going to be the image which I'm going to use. So I've made it transparent because depending on the background which I like as per my application, I'm going to use the appropriate image. Okay. So here I'm going to save this image. I'm going to change it as landing background. Okay. Or it's always a good idea if you want to use starting the first letter as the small one, landing BG. And I want to keep all of these images here in my, under my downloads. Sorry, I'll get into users. Sorry. This is going to be my landing bg.png. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll keep the copies in the GitHub repo itself. So I'm going to use this landing BG and I'm going to keep it in my iOS wallet app. Okay. Or what I can do is I can also create a new folder. Let's call it as images. And within this images, whatever content we will be using, we'll put here. Okay. Now, so Pratik, in the meantime, whatever changes are happening, you can see that I've got a new directory created images and I've got a landing BG. So what I can do is I can quickly commit it on the server and you will be able to access it from the GitHub repo. I will also share the GitHub repo on the Trello board. So image for landing page. I have committed it. So once the commit has been done, I'm going to push the origin. So total 5 files and folders will be pushed. Once the push is done, now you can quickly observe on the GitHub iOS wallet. If I refresh it, you'll be able to see you have got the images directory here. And within the images directory, you have the landing page bg.png file, so which you can download and use it accordingly. You can also fork the project, or as of now, I would suggest to not fork it, but just get the files accessible through this iOS wallet app directory. Okay. So here is the URL. So I'm going to keep it on Trello. Okay, you are already done. And iOS wallet app GitHub repo. Here we are going to have all the files and folders, whatever is required, will be available over here. Okay. For safe side, I'm also uploading the image for your reference here. Landing bg.png. Okay, so we got this landing bg.png, which we will be using in Adobe XD. So is it clear up till here, Pratik?
Yes. Yes.
So we got to see how we can quickly extract the images. And now what am I going to do? I'm going to use that image here on my project. Okay. So what I really want is, I can see there are 2 sections here. I would like to divide my landing page area into 2 different sections. So first section is going to be my, you can consider it as an image background or something. Okay, I'll put it here. So let's say, and the second area, this is going to be my content area. Okay, so rectangle 1, I can consider it as, I'm going to rename and I'm going to call it as section 1 background. Okay, and rectangle 2 is going to be my section 2 background. I have 2 sections here, section 2 background. Okay, with this, what I will be able to do, I will be able to control the color sequences of the area of the application and things like that. Okay, is that clear?
Yes.
Now, okay, so for now, I want to keep it all Fs. Okay, so these are the 2 areas which we will be using, section 1 background and section 2 background. In the section 1 background, I need the image to occupy the content. Okay, so what I'll do is, I'll quickly go to the images directory, the landing page BG, which I'm using, so which you can copy from the project code. I'm going to keep it here at the center, and I'm going to use Option and Shift key in order to quickly put it here in the section. Or I can take it a little above and increase the size a little bit more so that it touches the background. Okay, so this is something which I'm going to use in my application. So this is going to be my section 1. Is that clear? So
Yes.
section 1 BG and this item landing BG, they're going to be one group. Okay, they're going to be one group, and this group is going to be section 1. Okay, so in the section 1, what I have is, I've got the landing image and I've got the background. So I want to remove the borders from the background because there are no borders here. Okay, and rest, I have got my image available over here. In the second section, I want a label and a button. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll quickly get to the layers. Okay, and here we were at section 1. Now we want to design for section 2. In section 2, what I want is, I want the content here, the text content, and the text content is going to be a central content. Okay, so I put it at the center, and I'm going to change its orientation to center from the right hand side. Okay. Once I've done it to center, I would also like to increase the size as per standard typography, which I've already told you in the previous session. You can use your standard typography as per requirements, and we can keep it like I'll keep it 48. Let's say 48. If it looks a little big, I'll keep it something 232. Okay. So I'm going to type your perfect banking partner. Okay. So this is which I've used. The font is Helvetica New. I would like to change it to Roboto. Roboto is a standard font. Okay. So we can change it to Roboto. And if you want any of the spaces between the content, you can adjust it accordingly. You can also change the font type. If you want to keep it thin, if you want to keep it bold, it's like accordingly, you can keep as per your choice. Okay. So I want to keep it regular. Regular is fine for me. As well as, then what do we need to do is we need to select the fill. So to select the fill, I'll select the fill option. I'll select the pen icon. And with the pen, I would like to use the same color as of the text which is used here. Okay. So this is how we can quickly select the text also. In case, if you don't want to change the font, and if you're interested to work with the same font, what you can do is, there is a application, What the Font, which you can use. What the Font. It's an extension. With this extension, what you can do is, you can actually search for various collections, or you can drop an image here to identify the font. Okay. So what I can do is, I'll quickly click here to upload an image, and I have got my Practo app. Sorry, I've got my screenshot in which I had all the. Okay, what I'll do is, let me just quickly get that image which I have downloaded. Just allow me a minute. This is the app design objectives which we want to use. I'm going to copy image. Let's say if I can paste it here. If not, what I'll do is I'll quickly download it once, and then I'm going to upload it. So let's save image to downloads, and then I'm going to upload that image. This is the app design objectives. So once we do it, it is going to identify all the type of fonts. Okay. So you can click on a proper section to identify which font would you like to identify. So you can see that all the text content is identified on this app. And if you want to see the font of these content, you can quickly identify. So it identifies each word, because every word might be used with a different font. Okay. So I've selected your, and I'm going to click here to identify the font, and it says that this is the font which is being used. Okay. So it is Arabota Medium. It looks very similar, Arabota Medium. This is the content actually which we got here, your. So these are the few of the fonts which have been identified, very similar to the kind of content we are already having. Okay. So it's somewhere it looks like Sans Medium also, which we can use. Okay. Is that clear?
Yes.
Have you got it? So there are various websites like this which we can use, and we can access the fonts also. Okay. Now, coming to the content here. So what I'll do is, if the font, in general, font are mostly very, very important when it comes to designing the applications. I will quickly check if I have some. Okay, so anyways, not a problem. I'll keep it as the standard Roboto. Okay, followed by what we can do is next in the next section. So I'll quickly cover section 2 BG, and this content, your perfect banking partner. Okay, I want to keep it a group again. I made it a group, and this group is going to be section 2. I'm going to call it as section 2. In this section 2, you have this text content, your perfect banking partner. So you have to let the text remain same, but you need to change the label name, because we have to use these label names in the program. So we cannot keep it just like that. So what we do, let us just rename it to, I'm going to use it as LBL landing label. LBL landing, okay? LBL stands for label for the landing page. Is that clear? Along with that, what am I going to do? I'm going to build up a button also, okay? So let's say there's going to be a button available over here. This button is going to be rounded from the curves. So I'll put it to around 20. So 20 seems a little more. I'll keep it 10. So in the iOS, it is 10. Then what am I going to do? I'm going to fill the content. To fill the content, I'm going to use it with the similar color. Okay. Can you see that? So we got the similar color, and rest, I would like to quickly put the text content at the center here again. Okay. So I'm going to change the size to 28, which might be relevant. And I'm going to write start now. The text content seems a little big. I'm going to change it to hash FFFFFF. This is going to be white. And I'm going to change it to a little smaller. Let's take it to 18. So 18 looks pretty similar to it. Okay. Start now. And that is how we got okay. I'm sorry. Let's delete that. So we got the start now content also. Now what do you need to do? You need to put the now section in section 2 again. Okay. So this is your button background. Okay. We call it as BTN start background. Okay. And this is going to be LBL start. LBL start. And I want to group it, and this is going to be known as button start. Okay, so can you see that? So now we got these two sections ready, and I want to remove the gray background from the source, from the background now. Okay, so if you can quickly observe here, we've got a similar page designed with respect to the design theme which we're using. Is it clear? Have you got it?
Yes.
So now, so we got the first content ready, and in the first content, what do we have now? In the landing page, we'll get into the landing page. In the landing page, we have two sections. There is section 1, which contains a landing image and the section background. Later, if you want to change the color component or anything, you'll be able to do it. You will have the flexibility. Similarly, you've got a section 2. In section 2, what you have is you have a start now button, you have a landing label, okay, and you have a section background. So we got these two sections ready, and the prototype for the first page landing is ready. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, what you can do is you can discuss with the consumer or the team members. If they find that, okay, this page seems fine with us, you can quickly get into writing the code for the part, okay, for these contents. So for that, what do we need is we would be needing Xcode in order to get into designing the stuff, okay. But what else we need? We want all the 3 prototype pages to be ready, and then we'll get into code. Or what we'll do, we'll get into the code one by one. So let's say we'll take the landing page, then we'll build the second page, which is going to be the transactions page. Then we are going to build the send money page, and then we are going to write the appropriate code for it. Is that clear?
Yes.
So let me just quickly save it first. Just allow me a minute.
हाँ, तो मुझे डिजाइनर भी बना रहा है.
Yes, it's very important.
Yeah.
Now, so what we do here, this is going to be iOS wallet app. Okay. iOS wallet app XD. So I've saved it at iOS wallet app XD. I'm going to save it as a local document, iOS wallet app XD. And I'm going to push the content of iOS wallet app XD in the project. Okay. So this I'm going to put in iOS wallet app. And this is the app design objectives, which is also I'm pushing in the iOS wallet app directory. Okay. So I'll go to GitHub and I'm going to commit the following files. This includes prototype for landing page. Okay. So a prototype for landing page has been pushed. So what you will be able to do, you will be able to get access to the Adobe XD code, the design theme which I have made, that you're going to get. So what your objective is, you have to get this part done on Adobe XD. Okay. So what you need is, you need to have your own GitHub repo so that you have the appropriate idea about how the GitHub repository is made. Along with that, in the GitHub repo, I have uploaded all the objectives which I have used as of now, the images, the objective design, and the iOS wallet app XD designs are also uploaded over here. Is that clear?
Yes.